Good morning. Today we are starting with the topic biomolecules. So we are talking about biomolecules. What is bio? Bio means living organism, and molecules are the components which are required by the living organism to sustain their life. If we are talking about biomolecules, the biomolecules are broadly divided into two parts. One is biotic, that is organic, you can say. Organic and inorganic components. In organic components, we will study carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and vitamins. Inorganic molecule consist of nutrients or ions, which is broadly divided into two parts: macromolecules and micromolecules, or we can say they are the minerals present inside our body. Second inorganic component is the water. First we are taking inorganic components. In inorganic components we will study with water. Water is 70% of water present inside our body. In which the water is important for transportation, also it is required for various metabolic reactions inside our body. Blood, an important component, is also made up of water, which helps in the transportation of oxygen, carbon dioxide, or minerals inside our body, and also for excretion purpose. Secondly, having a major role in dielectric constant. Dielectric constant means if we are taking a salt, sodium chloride, inside our body it will be converted into ions, that is sodium ions and chlorine ions. So to constant these two opposite electric charge, water also break down into two parts, H positive and OH ions, in which outside the sodium ions bonded by OH ions all over the part, and the chlorine ions are bonded by proton. So by this, water bounded sodium and chloride ions so that the sodium chloride do not bound or rebond to form sodium chloride. So the rebonding of sodium chloride is bonded by water. Next we are talking about minerals, and these minerals are calcium, phosphate, sodium, potassium, iron, iodine, cobalt, magnesium, etc. So, taking these in consideration, if we are talking about calcium, calcium is required for muscle contraction, for electric impulse conduction, for the formation of bones, for cell signaling, and also for various metabolic reactions. Next, if we are talking about sodium ions or potassium ions, they both are required for metabolic reactions and for electric impulse conduction. And also require for reflex action and movements in our body. Magnesium and cobalt are utilized as a cofactor of various enzymes inside our body. For example, magnesium is required for DNA polymerase enzyme, which is required for DNA replication inside our body. Next, we are talking about iron. So the iron is required for the formation of heme, which is present in hemoglobin for the that is a major component of blood. Next, come to the part organic molecules. And organic molecules, the first we are starting with carbohydrates. So what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates, we can say hydrates of carbon, is known as carbohydrates. The general formula of it is CnH2nOn. Similarly, the carbohydrates is broadly divided into three parts or four parts, that is monosaccharide, disaccharide, oligosaccharide, and polysaccharide. So the monosaccharide, where the mono means single and saccharide means carbohydrate. So if a single carbohydrate unit is present, then it is regarded as monosaccharide. For example, glucose, fructose, etc. Similarly, the disaccharide itself says that di means two. Where two carbohydrate units are present, then it is said that disaccharide. For example, maltose, which is maltose, which is formed from glucose plus glucose. Lactose, glucose plus galactose. Third, sucrose, that is a table sugar or the simple sugar which we are using in our home, is glucose plus fructose. Next, oligosaccharide. Oligo means small. Small, approximately 10 unit of carbohydrate should be present, is known as oligosaccharide. For example, xylulose, etc. Polysaccharide, their infinity or a number of saccharide can be present, in which examples are cellulose, starch, glycogen, and starch, cellulose. These are the polysaccharides of, or the example of polysaccharides. So first, if we are taking or further, we deal with carbohydrate, the structure of carbohydrate. Structure of carbohydrates of three types. Linear chain structure, cyclic or ring structure, and third is Fischer projection, which is discovered by Fischer. The linear structure is, for example, glucose, that is this is the linear structure of glucose. The cyclic structure is a ring structure where the further cyclic structure is divided into two parts, that is a pyran ring and a furan ring structure. Pyran ring structure is somewhat like this. and furan ring structure is like this. The parent ring structure is present in glucose and furan ring structure is present in fructose, as they both are 6 carbon unit, but the difference is in their structure. Fissure projection is boat pattern or chair pattern structure. In our body, we have this type of structure only. The cyclic structure pyrin and fruin is formed to expand the fissure structure from this corner and this corner, and to make the study easier. But inside a body, the chair pattern structure is present so that there will be less surface area covered by the glucose and higher number of glucose can be arranged inside a body in this pattern. Next, if we are talking about glucose, there are two different type of glucose or carbohydrate. One is the alpha glucose and second is the beta glucose. The ring structure we are talking about, if the OH is at the lower position, then it is alpha glucose, and similarly the OH of anomeric carbon is placed upside, then it is regarded as beta glucose.